Hi, hello, dear students. Welcome to this session on chemical equilibrium. This is chemical equilibrium. In this, we will see some important information related to chemical equilibrium chapter. Okay, let us see what is this chemical equilibrium. Actually, it is always assumed that a chemical reaction goes completion. However, only few chemical reactions proceed to completion, and in which one we will call it as reversible reaction. N2O4 dinitrogen tetroxide gives nitric oxide. It's a reversible reaction. Now, you will see a reversible reaction of this nitrogen oxides. A chemical reaction in which products can regenerate the original reactants is a reversible reaction. We have observed that N2O4 gives 2NO2. N2O4 is colorless. In a forward reaction, nitrogen dioxide is obtaining, and in the backward reaction, nitrogen dioxide is converting into dinitrogen tetroxide. In this chemical equilibrium, the chemical equilibrium can be understood from this type of reversible reactions in which the rate of forward reaction and which is equals to rate of backward reaction, then that chemical equilibrium is said to be dynamic equilibrium, and the reactant constantly forms the products while the products constantly forms the reactants. In this, in equilibrium, concentration of reactants and products actually do not change, and that type of dynamic equilibrium example, we have carbonated drinks are there. Carbon dioxide and water gives carbonic acid. When a bottle is opened, the pressure is released, then carbon dioxide evolved from the decomposition of carbonic acid. So H2CO3 gives CO2 and water. See this chemical reaction, it's a reversible reaction, a dynamic equilibrium established. And such type of equilibrium reactions, equilibrium constant K, it can be obtained in any chemical equilibrium reaction. It is equal to the ratio of equilibrium concentration of products to the equilibrium concentration of reactants. That means if you take AA plus BB gives us CC plus DD as general equation. In this, A, B are the reactants and C, D are the products, and their corresponding coefficients are A, B, C, D respectively. In such a case, the equilibrium constant can be obtained by the concentrations of products by concentrations of reactants, where A, B, C, D are the coefficients. I told A, B, C, D, capital A, B, C, D are the chemical species. So in such a reaction, the equilibrium constant can be written as the product of the product concentrations to the rise to the power of their coefficients by the product of the reactant concentrations rise to the coefficients powers. So product concentrations by reactant concentration is called equilibrium constant. Experimentally at equilibrium, concentration of products is raised to a certain power divided by the concentration of reactants. Also raised to a certain powers is constant at fixed temperature. So it is called equilibrium expression. Now this equilibrium constant, if you write product concentration by reactant concentration, it is the concentration of products over that of reactants. It can be defined like that. And if K value is small, it means that equilibrium concentration of products is small while the reactant concentrations are large. This indicates that equilibrium, the system consists mostly of reactants. So if K value is great, it means the equilibrium system consists mostly of products. Writing equilibrium expression. How? If a pure liquid or solid is involved in a reaction, its concentration is omitted in the equilibrium expression as it has constant concentration in moles per liter at constant temperature. So pure liquid or solid if you take, then their concentration will not be taken into the consideration. Write the equilibrium expression for the reaction below. See, there is keeping all this information, we'll try to write the equilibrium expression. H2 plus F2 gives rise to 2HF. In this, HF is in the product side. H2, F2 are the reactants. So obviously what will happen? HF concentration rise to the power 2 by H2 concentration power 1 into F2 concentration power 1. Now, let us see another example. Write the equilibrium expression for the reaction given, that is N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. In this, we have products, NH3 is there, that coefficient is 2. So, concentration of N2 rise to the power 2 by the concentration of N2 into concentration of H2 rise to the power 3. So, this can be written like this. Next, if we write the equilibrium expression for the reaction, another reaction, if you see in this, we need to carefully observe. In this reaction, we have calcium carbonate, which is given solid in state. Calcium oxide in the product side also given a solid in state. But CO2 only we have gases in the product side, it is there. For such case, what will happen? The concentration of CaO and concentration of CaCO3 will be considered 1 or will be omitted in the expression. Then we will get concentration of CO2 only in the equilibrium expression. This is the K is equals to concentration of CO2 only. Next, we'll see, write the equilibrium expression for the reaction H2, 2Hg plus O2 gives 2HgO, where HgO is solid, Hg is liquid. Then, how can you write? This is the concentration of HgO will be taken as unity, and concentration of O2 will be there in the denominator side. Then one, so K is equals to 1 by concentration of O2, as Hg is also in the pure liquid state. Come to the next one here, write the expressions for the following reactions. We have 3 reactions given in this. You can observe the first one. Whereas the concentration of SO2 power 2 by into concentration of H2O power 2 by concentration of H2S power 2 into power 3 will come for the first one. For the second one, concentration of CO into concentration of CO by concentration of CO2 into concentration of H2 will come. For the third one, concentration of H2O by concentration of H2 only will come, omitting the solid cases, right? Next, write the expression for the following reaction. One more example, if you take in this. Equilibrium constants can be written like you said earlier. Now, one more chemical equation, if you see 2 NBr gives rise to plus 3 Br2. Whereas the system at equilibrium at a particular temperature is analyzed at the following concentrations found. That is concentration of NBr3, that is 2 NBr3. Concentration of NBr3 given, concentration of N2 10 to the power of minus 2 molarity. Concentration of Br2 also given 1.06 and 10 to the power of minus 3 given. So you need to find the equilibrium constant, means concentration of N2 into concentration of Br3 by concentration of NBr3 power 2. So if you substitute that values in this chemical equilibrium constant expression, that values will be substituted like this. Is after substitution you will get this expression, that is K is equals to 4.11 into 10 power minus 2 into 1.06 and 10 to the power of minus 3 whole power 3 by 2.07 10 to the power of minus 3 power 2. So that value upon simplification we got 1.14 and 10 to the power of minus 5 km. So in that way you can calculate the equilibrium constant. So in this, the coefficient is balanced equation of the expands. So in the solution, the coefficients of balanced equation should be written. Come to the next one. What is KSP? What is KSP? This is solubility product constant. It refers to the reaction at which the solid is dissolved in water. If you take AB solid that is dissolving into A plus plus B minus ions it's giving, then our KSP and K will be different in similar. different and similar. They are different or similar. How we can check it off? See, solubility product constant KSP is a specific type of chemical equilibrium. It is used when the reactant is solid and the products are ions. In both the cases, rules for setting up the equation are the same, and all terms have units moles per liter. Writing the solubility product of expression of calcium fluoride, we will check it off here. And in this calcium fluoride is a solid case. Calcium ion and F ions are coming. The unbalanced is there, so you can make it is balanced by putting 2 as the coefficient before F minus. So after that, it will get balanced. Then after, we can write the KSP expression using Ca2 plus ions and F minus ions. So that will come like this, that KSP is equals to concentration of Ca2 plus into F minus power 2. This is called solubility product expression for calcium fluoride. Write the balanced equation when PbCl2 in solid state, PbCl2 in solid is dissolving in water, and write the KSP expression for it one. Okay, so we have PbCl2 is there, that gives Pb2 plus and Cl minus ions, and we'll balance it by putting coefficient 2 before the Cl minus. Then it get balanced. Then we can write the equilibrium constant KSP solubility product, that is Pb concentration, Pb2 plus concentration into Cl minus concentration power 2. Next we'll see, write the balanced equation for the reaction describing the dissolving of each of the following solids in water, and also write the KSP expression for each solid. So we have barium sulfate is there in the first one. It gives Ba2 plus and SO4 2 minus ions. Likewise, we have ferric hydroxide is there, FeOH thrice, so solid is there. It gives Fe3 plus and OH minus ions. Ag3PO4, that is silver phosphate is there. That gives silver ions and phosphate ion. So we can write all these things based on the previous discussion. So KSP for that first one, barium sulfate, will be Ba2 plus concentration into SO4 2 minus concentration. Second one, FeOH thrice is nothing but KSP is equals to Fe3 plus concentration into OH minus N concentration power 3 will come. And third one, KSP is equals to Ag plus concentration power 3 into phosphate ion concentration power 1 will come. Now let us see the next important thing, that is the Le-Chatelier's principle. Actually, Le-Chatelier principle states that if a change in the condition is composed in a system at equilibrium, then the equilibrium position will shift in the direction that tends to reduce the effect of that change. So the effect of change in concentration, the effect of change in volume, the effect of change in temperature, that may be anything. That means if you bring a change in the concentration of the chemical reaction at equilibrium, obviously what will happen, the equilibrium also try to reduce the change that is employed on that one. So when you increase the concentration, equilibrium moves in another direction to reduce the change. That's what called as Le-Chatelier's principle. Effects of change in the concentration on reactant at equilibrium. So to understand the equilibrium, Le-Chatelier principle, we can consider a preparation equation. In this equation, shows that equilibrium is there. The two arrows of the same length, that is rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. It is very clear. And in this reaction, what will happen if you increase the concentration of nitrogen? So concentration of N2, reactant concentration, you are increasing. What will happen? The reactant concentration decreasing direction, the equilibrium moves according to Le-Chatelier principle, means in the forward direction. That means increase the concentration of reactant means more collision between them, increase the rate of forward reaction, as N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3 direction only equilibrium moves. So in the arrow pointing to the right has a greater length, which indicates the backward reaction increases, forward reaction increases, meaning more production of NH3 will come. So the arrow mark, if you carefully observe for the second equation given here, the same equation, second equation, arrow mark forward reaction, arrow mark given big value, big length is greater than the arrow mark in the back reverse reaction direction. So that is telling you about the concentration increases for the reactant. Automatically what will happen, the equilibrium shifts in the forward direction to reduce its concentration. Next, what will happens if you increase the concentration of NH3 in the previous example? That example, like what we observed, the ammonia preparation. Obviously, NH3 is present in the product side, so its concentration is more, means backward reaction arrow mark length we have increased. That indicates that equilibrium shifts in the backward direction to reduce its concentration. So, equilibrium moves in the backward direction. In this case, according to Lee-Chattel principle, it indicates that equilibrium is reducing the change that is employed on the reaction. So increasing the concentration of NH3 will shift the reaction to the left, means it is a backward direction. If a reactant or product is added to the system, then the system shifts away from the added component. So when you add anything to the right side, then what will happen? So it moves towards left side. When you add anything to the right side, left side, equilibrium moves in the opposite direction. That is Lee-Chattel's principle. If reactant or product is removed, what will happen? The equilibrium shifts towards the removed component. So suppose if you remove ammonia in this reaction, if you remove ammonia, then what will happen? Ammonia concentration increasing direction is forward direction. So that means equilibrium always tends to move in the opposite direction in which the change is applied. We have an exercise equations are there. You can also observe this. 2SO2 plus O2 gives 2SO3. Has reached the equilibrium, predict the effect of each of the following changes in the position of the equilibrium. SO2 is added to the system, means you have added SO2 to the system, like you said earlier for ammonia case, how it has happened. Here also it happens the same. That means when SO2, if you add, means this is quantity, this concentration is added for the reactants. Obviously that reactant concentration increases, means forward rate reaction increases and equilibrium shifts in the forward direction, means towards right side it will shifts. SO3 present in is liquefied and removed from the system. Say SO3 present in the product side, if it is removed, right, what will happen? So SO3 concentration need to be increased as per the Lee-Chattel principle, means the SO3 concentration increasing direction is forward direction, so equilibrium moves in the forward direction. Gas is removed from the system. So when you remove the O2 gas, what will happen? Equilibrium always try to shift towards the left side, whereas SO3 will become SO2 plus O2. So in that direction, left hand direction, backward direction, the reaction equilibrium shifts. The effect of change in volume and pressure. The effect of change in volume and pressure. How it will be. Now, till now we observed about concentrations. Now we'll see the volume and pressure changes according to Lee-Chattel principle. What Boyle's law is telling that pressure is inversely proportional to the volume of the gas. The smaller the volume, higher the pressure between the molecules. And Avogadro law is telling that volume is directly proportional to the number of moles of at a constant temperature. So considering all these things, the equation, if you see, that is gases, suppose gas below or mixed in a vessel at equilibrium, that is NOCl, NO2, NOCl2 are there, then what will happen at equilibrium position if we reduce the volume? So when you reduce the volume, what will happen? See, this Boyle's law and these things telling that pressure increases. So reducing the volume means increasing the pressure between the molecules of the gases. System moves in the direction that lowers its pressure. And the equation above direction will shift to the left because the products has more molecules. So then the reactants. So products we have 3 are there. Reactants we have 2 are there. So reducing the volume means increasing the pressure. So towards the forward direction, it will move. In other words, equilibrium position will shift towards the side of the reaction that involves a smaller number of gaseous molecules in the balanced equation. So now here we need to understand one thing, that molecule number is more, their pressure is more. Molecule number is less, their pressure is less. That means when you reduce the volume, automatically pressure increases. Pressure increases means equilibrium moves in a direction to reduce the pressure. So where the pressure can be reduced, in which direction means in the left direction. So in the backward direction, the arrow mark length given big value. What happens when the volume is increased in the previous example? So this example 2NO Cl gives us to 2NO plus Cl2. Once we increase the volume, pressure decreases. So equilibrium moves in the direction in which greater number of molecules. So that is in the forward direction. That's why here arrow mark which is given, length is given larger compared to the backward arrow mark. So forward direction reaction proceeds. So when the volume is increased, it lowers the pressure of the system. Thus the direction will shift to the right to the increase the total number of gaseous molecules present. Predict the shift in the equilibrium of the reaction below when the volume is reduced. When you decrease the volume, what will happen? Pressure increases. So equilibrium moves in the direction where less number of molecules is there. So in the forward direction, it is the answer. So the direction will shift to the right since it has 0 gaseous molecules. Why? Because gaseous molecules number in the right direction is 0. So it goes towards right direction. PCl3 plus Cl2 gives rise to PCl5 is there. In this we have left side 2 are there and right side 1 is there. So again it goes in the same manner. That means the direction will shift to the right since it has less number of gaseous molecules. You'll see PCl3 plus 3 NH3 gives rise to PNH2 thrice plus 3 HCl. In this reaction we have left side 4 are there, right side 2 are there. Left side 4 are there, right side 4 are there. What happens? It won't get any kind of effect on this change. Since the number of gaseous molecules in both sides are equal, the change in the volume will have no effect in the equilibrium position. Questions you can take down. For each of the following reaction, predict the direction in which direction shifts in when the volume of the container is increased. When you increase the volume, pressure decreases. So pressure increasing direction, you have to calculate. Pressure increasing direction, you have to calculate means the pressure increases in the greater number of molecules side. The effect of change in temperature. Concentration and volume in the system alter the equilibrium position, but not the equilibrium constant. So change in the concentration and volume in the system alter equilibrium position, but not the equilibrium constant. So carefully observe here in this, the temperature, effect of temperature in equilibrium is different because the value of equilibrium constant is changing with temperature. If the reaction is exothermic, that means that releases heat, the direction will shift to the left side since heat is one of the products. Yes, we will write chemical equation with heat in the product side only. Endothermic energy is one of the reactants so that the direction will shift to the right. So endothermic reactions shift towards the right side, exothermic reaction shifts towards left. That's the meaning of it. Now we will see that one carefully by understanding the above previous information applying to this chemical equation. So in this chemical equation we have heat is there in the product side. So what will happen? So it will be in the left side. Endothermic reaction. So endothermic energy is in the reactant side is there. So it goes right side. So first one, since heat is one of the products, it is exothermic, that the direction of the reaction is to the right. Second one, since it is endothermic, heat is one of the reactants, so the direction of the shift towards the left. Predict the shift, would each of the changes below have the same reaction? So in this reaction, O2 plus 2CO gives us 2CO2 plus E2, heat. increasing the CO, increasing the CO2 concentration, increasing temperature, decreasing volume. Projected shift would each of the changes below. So that means first everything we have to apply for this point here. Increasing the concentration, what will happen? CO concentration shift towards right side. Increasing the concentration of CO2, reaction shift towards left side. Increasing the temperature, already if you have temperature is increased, so reaction proceeds in the backward direction. Decreasing the volume, when you decrease the volume, what will happen? Pressure increases, so reaction moves towards the lower number of molecules, means towards right side. This is the thing we observed in this part. Thus, we have discussed about some important information related to the chemical equilibrium. In this session, I have discussed about chemical equilibrium, some reversible reactions, and given examples for dynamic equilibrium and equilibrium constant determination, and also direction of the reaction, and with some examples like ammonia preparation, calcium carbonate liquid decomposition reactions, and also some calculating equilibrium constant numerical value problem. Also introduced the what is KSP, solubility product, and how it is different from the equilibrium constant. What is solubility product of calcium fluoride equation, and some important thing. The most important point is Le Chatel principle I have discussed, and application of Le Chatel principle by taking the ammonia equation and sulfur trioxide equation, and the effect of changes of volume, concentration, and pressure also discussed in this session. Okay, hope you understand this session. We will come with the next session with more important points. Until, have a nice day. Thank you.